Hey everybody, hope you're doing well today. I wanted to give you a quick update here on the progress we're making in our RV. To be completely honest, I'm doing the best I can on working on Saturdays and Sundays and whatever time I can after work, which is generally about an hour a day. Hopefully, as we progress further into spring and summer, maybe we'll get a little bit more sunlight and I'll be able to be out here a little longer, make closer progress. Actually, hopefully, we're done with this before the summer. Anyway, we did cover some good ground. Namely, the biggest project we tackled so far is getting this back corner repaired. So here's where we noticed we had a little bit of water damage. It was coming in from the end cap, a seal back there. We actually jumped up on the roof. We found where that was coming from. We fixed it in order to ensure that we don't get any more water in here as we're going about the repairs. So we got that taken care of. And then once we had everything removed, what we noticed is that the adhesion for the wood panel sheet that's right underneath the actual fiberglass roof and some of the metal sheets underneath there had come kind of loose. So as you were walking on the roof, while it felt secure, there was still a little bit of give and just didn't like that. So what we did is we were able to actually pull down the wood, re-adhere it up along with the two metal sheets on the bottom, re-adhere those. That added back a lot of the structural stability. And from there, we actually took a 2-inch sheet of styrofoam insulation. And this gap where you see the insulation here is actually about 5 inches. So we grabbed some 2-inch foam insulation, put it up there, adhered it up where the wood and the sheets are. And then we came through afterwards with some spray foam insulation to fill in and cover all the gaps. Now, once we sprayed the insulation on, as it expanded, it actually did expand past the aluminum studs here. And generally on the roof, we found that all of the insulation is basically flush with the bottom of these studs. So we used a cool tool that Katie found. We've actually used it multiple times with the spray foam insulation that we're using, and it's this saw. What it actually allows you to do is go flush with the line or the surface that you want your insulation to be flush with, and then you can just saw along it, and it really helps create that level field that you want for your insulation. So if you're going to be working with spray insulation, specifically, for us on the floor and in the ceiling, this worked great for doing those final finishing touches to have it exactly where we wanted it. So check it out if you're gonna take on a project like that. But we did cut that down. We have it pretty flush to where we need it to be. So we're feeling pretty good about that fix up there. Now, next, along these ducts here, they're actually like a cardboard covered with that aluminum material. As we pulled out some of the insulation along the way, we noticed some of the connecting points actually came loose. So we took some tape and covered all of those in order to make sure that it's as efficient as it can possibly be and we're not losing air into the ceiling. So got that covered and then bought the 1-inch insulation sheet. So the gap where these ducts are from the duct to the bottom of the aluminum stud is exactly 1 inch. So what we're going to be doing is cutting those sizes down and going up and down both sides of the RV to put those insulation pieces back in place. Right now I'm currently waiting on a hole drill bit that's the right size for our vents here so that everything looks good and it can adhere nice once we do put the vents back up. Now, one of the most time-consuming things, and all RVs are different, so you may not have had to deal with this, but up here, this little crevice in between the roof and the top of the exterior frame is actually about 3/4 of an inch thick. It seems like when Tiffin built the motorhome, they actually put the ceiling panels down and then dropped the roof on top and screwed it into the exterior frame. Which is fantastic. That's a great way to do it. However, it makes it very difficult when you're removing that. So we got all our ceiling panels removed, but within these corners, since there's screws probably about every 8 to 10 inches, there's strips of the old ceiling panels still in there. Now, it's crucial that we get all of that out because when we put our new ceiling up, we're going to be using a 1/8 sheet, 1/8 by 4 feet, 8 feet across, and we're going to go all the way from the back to the front, and then we're going to actually put our ceiling material up on that. Now the objective is to use our ceiling material and that 1/8 sheet in order to fill the gaps. Well, if there's something in there, that's not going to work. So we got to get all that out. It's super time consuming because there is a screw in between it. So you've kind of got to weasel your way in there to get the wood out. So if you've experienced anything like that before or had to get the stuff out of there and you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear it. I've gone through a million different ways to do it, and I think I've got a good rhythm, but it's still fairly time consuming. So, any suggestions help. But anyway, that's about where we're at now. The objective is to hopefully get the rest of that material out as soon as possible so that we can then go start to put the ceiling back in place, and then we'll be actually seeing some results. So super excited to get past demo stage, but wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on the progress we've made since our last video and the direction we're going. So if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to let us know. Otherwise, we'll come back to you soon, and hopefully we're showing you progress of a new ceiling going into place.